What is up, Gunpla modelers? This is Strider Prime. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's ready for the summer. Right now, I am ready to begin building my Gunpla Builders World Cup entry for 2018. And what better way to start than showing off this mobile suit, the original RX-78-2 from the 1 Year War 0079. Now, I mentioned this before that this will be my first work in progress for this series of and I'm going to use this as my base model, and I'm going to build off around it with what I have. My intention is to make a support base assault platform type setup for the RX-78-2. Mainly, I'm making my own version of the Deep Striker. Many people were saying, are you going to get the Deep Striker? And I said, you know what? I'd rather make my Deep Striker than build one. So, that's my intention. I am utilizing parts from the Assault Pack, G-Selfie Assault Pack, which is basically a 1/144 scale kit. But I'm going to, since it's big and a lot of stuff on it, I'm going to build off that and add it as like a weird type of backpack thing, you could say. But I'm going to add more things to it, like vents, like thrusters. Well, basically something to accommodate the RX-78-2 as a way of it supporting it during operations. Going to be a lot of customizations, a lot of scratch building. I have some parts that I have strategically put away for this type of build, and during the course of this work in progress series, you will see me looking at each and every one of them. I have extra parts from other RX-78-2s that I think I can use for this guy as well. So he will be modified in a slight variation of it, but I want to keep him original. I want to keep him the original look, just a different paint job in a way, and something that will blend in with the pack. Now, for those of you who don't know, I didn't purchase this. This actually was a raffle that I won at MosquitoCon last year in 2017. It was funny though. I had my tickets. They were calling off the numbers, so I said, "Oh, I won. Here's my ticket." And the guy took the ticket and he went to one model saying, "Okay, no, that's not it. No, that's not it. No, that's not it." And when he got to the Gundam, and I kind of jokingly says, "Watch, I may win that Gundam." He looked at it and he kept on looking at it and says, "Oh, it's this one." And I said, "No fucking way. I actually won this model kit?" I said, "Yeah." And the guy literally looks at me and goes, "Do you build this type of model kits?" And I kind of said, "I'll try." But yeah, I won this, and it was a surreal experience to win something like that. I never won a Gundam model kit at any event, so technically that's, well, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. 2013, when I won GBWC, one of the prizes was a Gundam, which was the Strike Rouge Verka, or revised version, you could say. So when I got this, of course, I was deeply pleased, and I kind of remember this. But this is actually an old kit. This is from 2005. But this came out at a time when on the PlayStation, I believe this PlayStation 2 or maybe the PlayStation 3, there was a Gundam game that came out based off the 1 Year War. It never made it here to the States. So I remember that, and of course there are the model kits that use the same background, RX-78-2, the Golf, the Zaku 2. I don't know if the Zaku 2 Char version was made into that, but I remember this line, and I don't know if this is a 1.5 version of this I know it's not the it's not the 2.0. So this could be the 1.5 because I remember building the 1.5 version, but this is referred to as the 1-year war version. This kit retailed at 3,200 yen. There's some great posability right there, as you can see. The one distinct uniqueness of this is it's supposed to be, I guess, accurate to the video game, and this red tone has a slight pinkish hue to it, so it's not completely red. It kind of like you see here, it has a nice little weird look to it. I like there's some pre-shading on this, and there's some good panel lining here and there, so I will definitely enjoy panel lining this guy. Yeah, this is going to be very interesting to build. Alright, let's open it up and see what we have to work with here. Ooh, yes. I kind of like when they have this here. Nice. I like that. Okay. So, plate A. We have the yellow, which is more like an orange yellow type color. The pinkish reddish color, almost like a cream. Clear parts, and then we have the distinctive blue, like a royal blue color. Oh my god, this brings me back. I remember when I built the one. I don't know if this is actually from the 1.0. It would be, yes, no, this is the 1.5. So this is the original 1.5 kit. Oh my god, this is going to bring back memories because I remember building the 1.5 version and I sold it. This was way before I got into YouTube. But yeah, this is the 1.5 before the 2.0. Never built the 2.0, built the 3.0, which is sitting over there, but yeah, I remember this. And this one, as you can see, the whole leg section is molded into one, several layers of plastic, so that way you can turn and twist. You could pretty much say this is almost the precursor to the real grade RX-78-2, which I never built. But that's the legs. We have charcoal parts here, 2 curved beam sabers, portion of the leg, the hammer, yeah, leg parts there, spikes for the hammer. Now this is not a white color, this is more of a light cream color, almost sandy cream. But this is of course unique to this model kit. It would have been nice if that was separate parts, but I guess not. So we have the leg and the shoulder and the arms. No, not the arms, but the shoulders. Now here are more charcoal parts. Manipulator hands, you gotta love those because of the classic. And this does not come with the core fighter, so that's a good thing. We don't have to fuss around with the core fighter. What it does come with is some screws. And I know that's, I believe, for the legs. So that's going to be cool to see that. Then we have parts of the arm, the head right there. Then we have the beam rifle, the classic beam rifle, and then the bazooka, which is a mold, one mold, solid mold bazooka. This is not the classic mold, which of course is now the standard for like the 2.0 and the one that I built off the GM Sniper Custom. So yeah, that's cool. This is like gonna bring me down memory lane building this. I have been actually contemplating of getting the 1.5 version, but seeing it here, that really brings back memories. Let's look at this 1-year war manual. I mean. Of great pose, and of course this kit can do the pose if you like to. Now obviously this is an old kit, an old manual, old kit, so it's not in English, but you could pretty much tell what's referring to there with the tools you need, how to cut them, how to place the stuff and whatnot. I didn't actually notice the markings. I'm going to have to see if I could find some custom markings for this, you know, online. And it's in color. Wow, you don't normally see that in color. Very nice. You're going to utilize everything here that you see here except for parts here in this section. They should still make manuals like this in nice detailed color. Illustration here on the weaponry, where you have to assemble that first. There's the hyper hammer and the chain, shield. Then we have the assembly of the torso. Parts there, all in color. Oh my God, this is a joy to see this. And then we have the assembly of the head. I am going to explore the possibility of mind you, the possibility of putting an LED light on this Gundam, only on the head of course. And yes, there will be LEDs on this kit. Assembly of the arms. Over there. And interestingly enough, and I just noticed it right now, not only it shows you in color, but it also highlights the parts that you'll need to make each section. So here's the waist unit, what you need to make, what you need to use to make it, of course. And then the leg unit is right here, and how to take it off the frame, how to twist it, and all that stuff. The placement of that screw. And then of course putting on the armored parts as well. And then putting it together. Obviously there's no core fighter. And how to position and all that stuff. And then of course here's the placement of the decals, which I'm going to see if I could find. Don't know if I could actually use decals from one RX-72 Gundam to another. So can I use decals that was from a 2.0 model kit from a 1.0 to a 2.0? Is there any difference whatsoever? I don't know. That's a good question to ask. Here's of course what the kit looks like already in action. Here's what it looks like in action on the PlayStation 2. Oh, so it was on the PlayStation 2. Why didn't it come here to the States? I don't know, because I heard it was very graphically well received when it came out. And then of course not only the RX-72 kit, but you had all the other kits as well. There's the Zaku 2. Oh, so there was no Char, but there was no Char Zaku 2, but there was a Char Gelgoog. There was the Gof, and then the Dom. I have the Dom, and I have the Dom, not from this, but like a regular master grade. I have the 2.0 Gelgoog normal. One day I gotta buy the Gof. And then here we are with the paints, the detail paint that you need for this kit, and what it looks like. Sweet. Very, very sweet. So, besides the RX-72, we're going to be working with this kit in conjunction with my my build for the GBWC. The Gundam G Self Assault Pack from the Gundam Reconquista in G animated series. Call it as it is a beautiful looking kit. Not many people like the series, but this overall look is really nice, and I kind of like how it's designed and its uniqueness and all that stuff. And As far as, you know, me saying this, at one point I wanted to build this. I wanted to customize it and do a lot of things with it. But at the end, I was like, I completely lost interest, to the point that I was going to give it away as a monthly prize. Somebody won. I sent him an email saying, "Hey, you won. Send me your address so I can ship it to you." 1 week passed, 2 week passed, 3 week passed, 3 emails. Sent 3 more emails to them. And after a month of no response, I said, all right, apparently this guy just did it for shits and giggles and doesn't want it. So I took it back. Now I have it. I was going to sell it. And then I said to myself, you know what? This would be perfect for something else. In which case, my build. Clearly we realize that even though this whole system is big compared to the relative size of the G Self, the RX-72 is going to be far bigger. But the intention would be to make this section a little bit more wider, a little bit more robust, with more parts. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to put it up. Like the cannons are not going to be over the shoulder. There's a possibility that's going to be on the side, or maybe under the pods here, leaving way for other things up here on the top. And I'm going to set it up in a way where I don't know how I'm going to do this, whether where the RX-72 will be holding on to the pack with the grips like you see here, or maybe something else where it'll be latched down to the chest area, and or like a seat, like a throne like seat setup. That's like the idea that I'm thinking. This is going to take a lot of work for me, but I have a lot of time to flesh it out. And this will not be the color for this, obviously. So, let's review the box and the contents of it. Here's the manual. Now, we all also agree with the fact that this kit will not, the G Selfie model kit will be separate from this, so I will be taking it, I'm going to split it up. You know, like this section here is probably the entire G Selfie kit as well, but I don't know. I see the legs here for this, but there's probably more parts. Yeah, like that, and the red parts there goes to the G Self. So, and I don't know if this one goes to, oh, this one may go with the other kit as well, so things will have to be separate. This part here, definitely for the assault pack. Especially these parts as well. See poly caps here, so that partially will go there while this one goes here. Same thing here, yellow parts will go to that kit while this one go to this kit. So I do see the front part of that, which will go to this, but this will go to there. This section here, of course, is those bunny ear like thruster type things in the back, well, and then the cannons. Another section of the hull and the base stand, which of course I'm going to have to review the base stand, because I may have to use a different base stand to support this kit, so we'll figure that out. Then we have charcoal parts, more parts for the G Selfie, and then the clear parts as well, which I'm going to have to separate because part of this has clear parts as well on the assault pack. Oh look, there's the missile pods. Actually no, there is no separate parts, because I'm seeing there's detailed parts there on you know, like here you have this. Don't worry about that, but that and that. So is that decaled or is that clear parts? Right now I'm only seeing it on this, which of course goes to the G self. What is this? Oh, this is when the Revive was the Revive campaign started up. Okay. I'm not going to review the contents. Now, what am I talking about? Let me review them. Just so we can cover our bases here. So obviously, if you ever get this kit and you feel like building it, this, you know, here's the manual. And this kit retails at 3,800 yen, which I'm surprised to see that during the summer sales from HobbyLink Japan, that kit's never on sale. I guess it was very popular that many people bought it. I see a lot of parts here, but of course the assembly of the G self, there are a lot of parts that are being omitted in reference to the to it being red and having larger bell bottoms. Here's of course what the kit, you know, the assembly of the kit, the decals, the stickers that is required for this, different chest area, different parts. When you make the G self with its beam rifle. But this is what we want to work on. And we have the right side there. Here of course is what the assault pack looks like in action. And like I said before, this stand is nice for high grade, but considering now I'm putting more weight to this, I'm going to need to get a better stand. And I have something that I will use. Just got to make sure that the parts connection will work to connect to this. If not, I'll make a new one. Alright, so we have the fuselage, or the structure there in the middle. I see the actual umbilical connection to the G self back here. Some parts there for the vents. Then we have the bunny ear type verniers, I think. Then the cannon parts. Loop with the shoulder cannons. These little parts that I guess used to hold the assault pack into place. The pod area where there's the rockets and the missiles and all that fun, beautiful stuff. And then you just put it all together. And there you go. Now there is one thing that I have to figure out, and let me see if I could zoom in on this. Since this pod area here will be expanded out, maybe I'm definitely thinking of cutting it and either extending it outwards or making it a little taller. I don't know yet. Don't know yet. This section here, which is holding up the bunny ear type setup, that's going to be, this bunny is going to be replaced or going to be placed someplace else. Maybe I'll convert it into something, and then I'm going to add an extra part here, and that's going to be bigger. The cannons, like I said, may end up either on the side or as an under attachment, like there, because over here will be other weaponry that I will think of putting on. Thinking of putting like maybe a wing like setup. Don't know yet. There's also the possibility that I'm also going to be replacing or updating these little vents, because there's a lot of room here for putting in LED lights. And whether I'm going to use thrusters, specific thrusters, in areas where it'll show, that's the idea, to do that. And then of course putting in fuel tanks and whatever other neat little things it's going to go. Which of course from there, I've got to figure out the placement of the lights, whether the lights, definitely there will be light sources in the back. So there will be thruster lights. There will be the light source here, which I do think is nice. There'll be something here up front that will have light sources there. Don't know if I'm going to put a light source on the cannon itself, but I'm thinking to put in at least 1, 2, 3, 4, and the possibility of 4 to 6 light sources in the back, but then using, you know, calling in for like a maybe putting in like a setup for fiber optic. Maybe that idea, to try that. Don't know yet for now. So that's the idea. Now I don't know what I'm going to paint it. I have an idea with the RX-72, which we'll talk in a moment. But for this, I haven't thought that out yet. That will be a work in progress afterwards. Alright, so let's talk about what we're going to do with this kit and what we're going to do with painting. The painting schemes are going to be clearly identical to the box art, to the original scheme, with some slight variations and some changes. My choices, of course. You know, I know many people will say blasphemy. Don't change the color pattern on Gunpla. Well, it's my kit, so there. We're going to do some stuff here that's going to be a little different, and change ups here and there. For starters, we're going to begin with the white. Oh, before we move any further, I'm not doing no pre-shading on this. This of course screams pre-shading if you know, for many people who want that, but I'm not doing it for this. This is going to be strictly you know, a nice solid color design. So for the white, we're going to do a two-tone color version, kind of like what you've seen in other kits that Bandai released, like the I think the 3.0 is a two-tone, and the real grade version is a two-tone. And since there's a lot of panel lining here, part separation, you could say, it's perfect as a guide. we reviewed the manual, but I didn't review it clearly as to see the parts, because there are definitely solid parts here that will needs to be masked after painting. So for the white, I'm going to use the standard MS White from Mr. Color for this, and the second tone will be a little bit darker, and that will be for this one. This is 315 Gray FS16 440. This should be perfect enough for this. I'll do a series of tests, of course, using spoons to see how it looks before we move a bit further. If I feel that it's a little too light or too close to it where you cannot visually see it, I will find a way to darken it up by adding a darker tone color or some different type of pigments. That's for the white. For the blue, I've been meaning to try this for a while, and I want to use this color, this light blue. This should be nice for this. I may end up lightening this up a bit, adding another layer of white just so it could be lighter. That has to be a series of tests right there. I have, and it's kind of funny though, because I have other light blues. This is light blue by Mr. Color. This is, hold on a second. This is light blue by Mr. Color. This is light blue by Mr. Color. And while we're at it, here's another light blue by Mr. Color. How many light blues do you see? It's ridiculous. So we're going to use this. Now the question is, of course, the red. Red is easy. Red we could use anything. But I'm not going to use it. As much as I love this shade, I am going to change this up and I'm going to use a different color. And considering that the theme on this is a near purple finish type thing, especially in the box art, I think the most appropriate color would be this. MS purple. That will be for the feet, crotch area, the waist, the headpiece, and of course, let's not forget the shield. For the backpack, we're going to use, well, there's charcoal parts here and there, especially in the backpack, the hands, the beam rifle, areas that are exposed. And we're going to be using a combination of two types of paints. We're going to use a combination of the MS Gray Metallic, which definitely probably be for the beam rifle, while maybe the backpack area I'm going to use Phantom Gray. I was going to use Titan 1, and I have a lot of that because I've always had a lot of success using that paint, but I'm going to use this one for now. For the yellow, I'm going to use standard yellow, as you can see here. However, the box art has another feature that I think I want to try, and I have gold, which can be used as, the beam rifle here, as you can see that. But then I'm saying to myself, you know what? All I can do with that part is I can I can paint that gloss black and paint that Elaclad gold. I have gold, and do a reflective gold shot right there. That would probably be good for this, but do you think maybe I should do reflective gold for this, and of course the head part, which is the two Vulcan guns? I don't know what you guys think of that. I'm actually debating doing something like that. Now, I'm not 100% clear or sold by it, but that's probably the idea. But I think that in general, this is the overall type of paints that I'll be using for this kit. This is, of course, subject to change. I may end up changing this idea, so it's not going to be set in stone. But there you go. So the painting phase won't happen now, it'll happen later on, but because we're going to begin assembly so we can see this kit how it looks. So let's begin working on RX-78-2.